What's up, y'all? Back number episode. What back?
I think we're 10.
Are we 10?
I think so.
All right, hey, back DnA show. Our beliefs. What's our slogan?
Our legacy.
Our show.
That's what's up. That's what it is. What's up, guys? So, Ant, we're back in the lab. Got some topics today to go over. Some hot topics. This society right now is
It's crazy.
It's crazy, dude.
It's crazy, bro.
So before we get into that though, how's everything going?
Everything's going, man. How's the family?
I mean, we're good, dude. We're good.
What's up?
My 18-year-old he just graduated today. We had a drive-by graduation.
Drive-by.
And that was actually pretty cool, man. I'm not gonna lie, dude. To see the amount of support that we had from our community out there, cheering on the kids and stuff, that was actually really cool. I thought it was honestly a cool way to do graduations. Man.
I hope we do that.
Screw the old style, dude.
Yeah, old style. You're in that heat, man, and you're sitting there trying to fan yourself off
dude.
and shit. Yeah. So what's the topics today, man? Because we got a crazy situation going on, and what we're trying to do with the DnA is that it's been pretty dark. We've been going through some topics, so we want to basically in the next couple episodes get a little bit lighter. But right now, 2020, everybody knows 2020 is a crazy year, bro. It's a crazy year. I've never seen anything like this in my life, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm 13, you know? So it's crazy times.
Yeah. So let's get right in it, man. So the one thing that caught a lot of people off guard and a lot of backlash was the Drew Brees comments. So what's your take on that? So I guess basically to kind of recap what happened, he was on a show just the other day, and they asked him what his thoughts were now regarding kneeling for the national anthem, just kind of in response to the Black Lives Matter movement and the protests going on, if he had a difference of opinion.
Right.
And he pretty much was straightforward and said, no, I'll never understand, and I don't support anybody disrespecting the flag and the anthem.
Yeah, well, he went back to like 2017. You know, he's trying to play it safe, and the way that he sees things is like, if it's not messing with his reputation, it's not messing with his money. Some of those guys just stay. A lot of people don't mess. They don't really care, bro. If it's not messing with their money, it's not messing with their reputation. They don't care. And so basically he just made a comment that was a safe comment that he's been in.
Yeah. It was repetitive, like what he's always said.
Right.
I think in that bro, like, you know, you and our opinions together is people should have the freedom to protest and any way kind of peacefully that they'd like.
Right.
We support Colin Kaepernick, and we kind of understand what he was trying to accomplish and why he was doing it.
Right.
And I feel like, man, if there was ever a reason for somebody to have a different point of view, this was it. Like, we literally watched, you know, everybody's seen a modern day lynching on the streets of a black man begging for his life. You know, right. And I think this was an opportunity for Drew Brees and anybody that doesn't believe what Colin was doing was right to take a step back and say, you know what? I didn't understand. I didn't get it before. I do now, regardless, you know, because the thing is man, the values that this flag represents, we all know, take our emotions out of it, that it hasn't always represented for minorities and for black people, right? It doesn't represent the same things for them. Right. You know, and I wish he would have said something. Because I'm a fan of Drew Brees, I wish he would have said something differently in that moment. Right.
Yeah. It's right now I seem like there's like it's a time right now that's going on that's going to set a mark, and either you can get on board or you can sit back and watch, you know? Yeah. And I think it's been a long time coming, you know, and I think that you have all these different like generations that have sat back and watched and but this generation, as much crap as people talk about these millennials, they basically have came out and basically says, nah, you know, I'm not gonna settle for this, you know. I got family members, I got close friends, and I got all these different things, and I see them hurting, so why wouldn't I step in?
Yeah. Well, I think what you're right, because everything is on social media. All the information at the fingertips. And I think what you're getting now is you're getting where before sometimes things were hearsay. You didn't know how if it really was that bad. Oh, they're over exaggerating. But now with the camera, with the footage that you get to see almost on a daily basis of how people are treated. Right. You're right, man. People are well more informed. Right.
Yeah. And I think the thing is that a lot of people that have that basically control the narrative, they think that that people that are from minority communities haven't protected and served this country on the battlefields, you know. And so a guy like Drew Brees, he sees that his two grandfathers have served and protect this country, you know. And so he hasn't really looked over at his fellow brother as a black man and says, you know what? Well, his father did the same thing, and his great grandfather did the same. Yeah. But they're still going through this. So
you would think, bro, like that would piss you off even more because he has those relationships with black guys pretty much his whole life. Right. You know, and that would, as emotionally attached as he is to the flag and the anthem because of his grandparents and what they've done. Right. Like I think that would does for me. It pisses me off even more. I think somebody like that's even more emotionally attached would piss him off because what that flag stands for is not representing his brother. Right. So you think that would be, man, that would, so I'm hope, you know, so man, is Drew Brees is he a racist?
No, I don't think he's a racist, bro. I think that he's just there's a lot of white people out there that aren't racist. They just don't know. And a lot of them got to really try to I think they try to sympathize, but like I said, that you got to empathize, and especially being around, you know, I would say his whole career he's been around over like 90% of black guys. Yeah, you know? Yeah. So the thing is that
that's the crazy thing.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. But you got to realize this man is like growing up in a house full of lawyers. Yeah. I think his mom and dad are both lawyers. Yeah. So the thing is that they're dealing with law enforcement all the time, the military. So he's kind of blind to it until sometimes it hits you in the face really hard, and sometimes ask somebody to punch you in the face to make you realize that, hey, man, this is an issue that's going on, man, and this is real shit. And the whole deal is that the crazy part is that when it doesn't deal with you and it nothing to do with what your path is in your life, and you can look over and say, whoa, yeah, like this is disgusting. Yeah. We're supposed to be, that's nasty over there. Yeah. And you keep going forward, that makes you a bad person. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But Drew Brees came out and he made a statement, and I mean,
so he came out first with a written apology. It was sound legit, very, very spot on, like he does, you know. And the thing is this, I'm a Drew Brees fan. You know, and I don't think he's a racist. You know, you and I have had conversations sometimes where, and some of you guys might kind of get what I'm trying to say at, like, you're not racist. These people, but they might do or say a racist thing, but they're not racist, right? You know them personally, like, man, you're not racist. You're not racist. You know, we kind of joke about that, but it's like
they're not informed the right way.
Yeah, you know? Or just because they're, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just not. They're not informed on it.
So his apology, do you accept his apology for what it is? Do you take it at face value, or do you think it was more just him trying to save face because it's the end of his career and he's got a Hall of Fame perfect career, like impeccable, right? Nothing wrong. He's just like this is probably his last year, and this would mar his. You're right. Potentially, right?
Well, the thing is with me is that it's kind of like from the jump. A lot of people are about their bread, and their legacy, and he has 2-3 boys, so he doesn't want to basically tarnish who they are because they'll be around young black men and Hispanics and Asian people, so they don't want to tarnish that. So you can look at it. You can say, okay, is he doing this for himself or is he doing it for his family? So we'll just see in the future. Right now, the man came out. He said he was, to me, he seems sincere, but all I can do is sit back and say, okay, we'll see. Do I, it's 50-50 with me. Do I take it as 100% like he was sincere? It's 50-50. Yeah. You got to show me, man.
Yeah. And I think, man, with me, I'll take me. I'm a guy that gives like people 2, 3, 4 chances. I just take them. If they say something, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Because I just believe like when you say something, that's what you are going to do. Right. So I take it as genuine, he means well, but there's a part of me too that just thinks like, he's just saving face, man. He's just because he took a ton of backlash, right?
Right.
But I do think he's always been a stand-up guy from what we read and know about the guy, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But it's one of those things.
They messed, man.
Yeah,
they were on him quick, dude.
Yeah, they were on him quick, and the whole deal is that I think a lot of people that wanted to come out for the Kaepernick deal, a lot of even people of color was just like, man, that they weren't sure what Cap was going to say.
Yeah.
And Cap didn't say nothing. Cap said, you know what? I'm basically kneeling for this one reason, and this black man that got gunned down. I'm kneeling for this, and it wasn't George Floyd at the time. It was a man that he's seen as George Floyd, and I'm kneeling for this reason. And everybody's just like, it's the flag, bro. And then everything switched over to the flag, and that man that he was kneeling for was pretty much a George Floyd.
How the hell can we get people to look past the? He's even came out and said early on, like, I'm not disrespecting military. I'm not disrespecting the police. I'm not disrespecting. That's not what I'm doing. So why are people holding on to that still? The dude, it came out of his mouth. That's not what he's doing.
Yeah, and
your emotions. People's emotions are wrapped up in this way too much, and I think we need to, like we said earlier, you need to look to understand before you're understood. Right. You need to listen to where people are coming from.
Bro.
Shut your mouth.
And the funny part is there's a lot of 49er fans that was with Cap. And right now, they're looking back and they're like smiling, laughing at the world, saying, "Motherfucker, we were telling you guys that." Yeah. And it's a smack in the face to like all America, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a smack like, dude. It's a smack. Jay-Z, that motherfucker's sitting there like, "Oh man, yeah. Aren't we done kneeling? No, motherfucker, we ain't even got started yet." And,
I hope to listen, man. I hope that every NFL team this year, every player, coach, staff, like, let's get past the bullshit that this is not about disrespect. This is about a movement. This is about a positive change in our society. We should be very proud of this country. I'm not necessarily proud at the moment of how we're handling things. I want them to all come out and every one of them kneel in solidarity because this is bigger than Kaepernick. This is bigger than any one person. This is a movement to better our country. If you're a pro-American, dude, we should be all hands on deck. All
and you know what, Derek, man, this is man, bro. I didn't. When we were talking about the show, I didn't even know how to approach this. But the way that I see it is during the Civil Rights Movement in 1964, and that's probably like 55, 56 years ago. Dr. King did this march, and he did this movement with a lot of people, a lot of different ethnic backgrounds that make this thing pass. But what I see is that everything that he saw was getting accomplished, but the police brutality is still there. As nothing changed with the police brutality, and it's kind of like we've been spending like what 56 years, man, since civil rights won.
Dude, this just in. Hey, we don't ever do breaking news, and you guys are gonna get this in a few days. It's funny. I just popped on my phone. This is from Drew Brees right now. It says, to President Trump. Through my ongoing conversations with friends, teammates, and leaders in the black community, I realize this is not an issue about the American flag. It has never been. We can no longer use the flag to turn people away or distract them from the real issues that face our black communities. We did this back in 2017, and regretfully, I brought it back with my comments this week. We must stop talking about the flag and shift our attention to the real issues of systemic racial injustice, economic oppression, police brutality, and judicial and prison reform. We are at a critical juncture in our nation's history. If not now, then when? We as a white community need to listen and learn from the pain and suffering of our black communities. We must acknowledge the problems, identify the solutions, and then put this into action. The black community cannot do it alone. This will require all of us. That's directly to Donald Trump.
Okay, so
I just call him Donnie.
So can I do something?
Yeah, man.
Hey, Drew Brees, let me tell you, that comment, I think he's sincere,
I do too.
I think
he's a guy. Listen, this is the power, bro. We've talked about this. This movement and this change is not going to be done by just the black community
Definitely.
Or minority, right?
It can't get
need
done.
Powerful white voices like that. Drew Brees, you've talked about it.
Yes.
You've said I need Aaron Rodgers, I need JJ Watt, I need big time white white names
right.
to back this movement to make
Right.
real change. And I think Drew Brees has the power to do it, man. I'm
Right.
stoked at this.
Well,
Man.
that's awesome, bro. I mean, the fact that we're on top of that and you interrupted me, that was like a news breaking type deal. But you know what? I mean, a man coming out that directing, the executive chief and order of our country. I mean, it's kind of like, damn, that's power right there. So, Drew Brees might be our next governor of Louisiana. All I'm saying, bro, is that no, it takes balls to do that, dude. But that's the thing is that America's built off that, bro.
Yep.
That's why it surprises me to where you see all this integrity and dignity from all these generals and all these types of deals, and when it comes to this race thing, they kind of step back. But these young kids don't fucking care, bro. These young kids is like, they don't give a shit, man. And it's like, man, bro, like
you see it not even just right here in our country, you see it across the world.
You see it across the world. When you got Japan, you got Switzerland, you got London, and all these places, bro. And as a black, for real, bro, as a black dude, man, that shit's kind of touching, man. Where somebody looks at you and be like, man, you know what? I don't know you, but I know you motherfuckers got it hard.
Yeah.
And the thing is, dude, I wake up every day, man. Every day of my life. I get out the shower, look at myself, and I'm like, man, I wonder how today's going to be.
Yeah.
I wonder, and I'm not really looking at like
what shit you might deal with.
I'm looking at this first, like, man, when I hit this one, and it's weird, bro, because I've never in my life ever, like really looked over and wanted to, like, I'm seeing these compassion from people and seeing it from people that look like me, and I've never seen it.
Yeah.
It was always kind of like, all lives matter.
Ooh, that's a good topic. Let's get on that right now.
All right, go
just
for it.
Just because that annoys me to the nth degree, bro. Like that has me where I'm just like, really? So why do you think why do you think people in this moment in time with everything that's going on feel like it's like they should say all lives matter right now? Like, why do you, like, with everything going on in the world, we know what's going on. We're not dumb. People aren't dumb. Why would they scream out all lives matter or post all lives matter in this exact moment in time? It's baffling to me.
Well, I think if it's deep inside of them, they're like, well, most of the time you're going to get a person that is,
that's that wine.
No, I was drinking a box of wine, and it was really delicious. Yeah. So basically, what you're gonna get is you're gonna get people saying, all lives matter, but sometimes it's kind of like a person's like, there's like basically saying, hey, well, white lives matter too. White lives matter, bro, too. Yeah, white lives do matter, but that's the thing is that
like no shit.
We know shit. So it's like all lives matter, but they don't want. The thing is, they're like, well, if I say white lives matter, am I being a racist?
Yeah. I just feel like
no, you're not being a racist. Just like the whole deal is that there's like lung cancer, there's prostate cancer, but there's a day and a month they celebrate just breast cancer.
Yep.
Doesn't mean that
awareness, just to bring awareness
to there's breast cancer strictly out there for females, and then that's just kind of like some side busting dude coming in. Well, hey, I got prostate cancer.
Yeah.
I got prostate.
What about me?
It's like, whoa, man. We know, man. But the thing is that breast cancer, when they get it, nobody says anything. Nobody cares about breast cancer.
Yeah, that's just like if let's say like we'll go a little grim. Let's like your or my mom, your mom, somebody's mom passes away, and you're grieving and you're having a memorial, and somebody comes and says, hey, my mom died too. Well.
Whoa, that's shit.
Yeah, I know, but today,
deep,
this memorial is for my mom. I know, man, but that's messed. My mom died, man.
Right.
Like really? Like I just
did you just come up off the cuff with that? Damn, that's deep, dog.
But you know what I'm saying? Like
that's real, man.
If it's done in that sense in somebody's life, how are you taking that?
Right.
You're gonna be like, man, get the hell out of here with that, dude.
Right.
Like it's not about you. It's not about your mom. It's about today, my mom, my family, my struggle.
Right.
And I just get so offended for everybody out there that does these posts on Facebook at this exact moment in time, all lives matter. Dude, stop, dude. Like, you're only adding fuel to a fire. You're creating more division because every life matters. We all are very much aware of that.
And you're
you know what I'm saying? It's a
move showing that you really don't care. Like, it's about me.
It's just a slap in the face, right?
It is. And the whole deal is that as a people, a lot of us are compassionate people, bro.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us have our own different views. A lot of us are, Democrat, Republican in the middle. But a lot of us are compassionate people when it comes to just basically people who they're around, even if we have different beliefs. But when it comes to this issue right here, that's one of those ones that's a dog whistle to where it's kind of like a dog whistle is basically
just
like
deflect, man. Yeah. Just deflecting from like
the issue,
issue.
Because you don't feel like you have a part in it, so you're gonna make it. I got to put myself in there.
Yeah, and you know what? And if you feel like you want to create that movement, do it after this is settled down, and then you know what? Do your movement. Create whatever movement you want. Right. But to deliberately do that during a Black Lives Matter movement and what has been going on in our country is just insensitive, man. Like, man, your mama's raised you better than that. Like,
Yeah, man, you cleaned it up. That was a pretty good analogy about the funeral thing, bro, because that's deep. Because if some motherfucker came up to me and, man, I'll be like, are you serious, motherfucker? Okay. Get the fuck out my face.
Way to make it about you, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
damn, that's deep, bro. I've never heard that one before, but that's perfect. It couldn't get no better than that, bro.
Yeah, so I just think all lives matter. And, and if you think about it, too, when the all lives matter, like, slogan came out, it came out at a time when Black Lives Matter started, and came out just as a what's what I want to use? It came out in spite.
Right.
That's what it was. Like, it came out in spite, and so just think about that when you guys post that or save that, dude. We all know that every life is valuable.
Every life is valuable.
But right now, like,
that's the thing. That's man. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Man. I'm 42 years and I've never ever seen nothing like this movement, bro.
Yeah. I
never have, man.
Yeah, and there's been
I'm not a sensitive motherfucker, dude. And I see this stuff, and I'm like, man, like,
bro, I seen the protests, like, and how they've jumped borders into other countries and stuff. When you see that, you're right, bro, because it's powerful, man. And I feel like we talked about this the other day. Like, there's certain points in history, certain points in our lives when you have to choose what side of the fence you're going to be on, right? Like, this is a pivotal moment in our history. For not just for us, but for our kids and our grandkids,
right?
Where do you stand? Like, where is your stance on this right now? Is it for equality for all, for everybody, for our country to be the greatest? Because right now, I don't feel like we're acting like the greatest country. Right. This is my personal opinion, right. And where do you stand on this? Because if you are seeing this stuff go on and you want to throw out stuff in spite, you're picking the wrong side of the fence,
right?
And we're just holding ourselves back because this isn't the first protest, riot, looting. This isn't the first,
no,
right? And I guarantee you, it will not be the last,
right?
If we don't learn from this stuff.
And hopefully it's the last for this race issue when it comes to this police brutality, and hopefully it's something else to make us a better people.
Yeah.
And so, you got to think, next it might be you and yours. Yep. What this is all about. Right now we're talking about Black Lives Matter. Before you know it, it might be you.
Yep.
Something that's going to be deep in your family or a concern that's going on to where, it may even be sex trafficking or some shit like that.
And you're going to want to support it.
And we're going to want to support. It may be anything, but right now, this is the topic right now. And I know as Americans, dude, I'm trying to tell you, man, I'm trying to tell you, I was here in Moses Lake where we're at right now, and I drove and I hit the corner, dude, and I seen probably about 20 white kids, and it was it was a few Hispanic kids, and I think I only seen one black kid in there. And they had Black Lives Matter up signs and all the stuff. I wake up and I look in the mirror like, man, I was like, this is real.
Yeah.
It was like the Twilight Zone. And it was like, this is America, man. This is who we are as a people, man. And it's kind of like that old generation, man. That shit's got to go, man. We got to get better, man. Yeah. And this is not just about black people, but it's about a movement that needs to move us from segregation, from that segregation. And when it came to that whole, that civil rights movement with Dr. King, a lot of stuff got done, but that police brutality got in there, and it's a kind of a corrupt system. Yeah. Not all cops are bad, but there's a lot there.
That kind of rolls into another topic that I want to talk about. Police brutality, right? So we know that's kind of what spurred this whole thing was police brutality, and people's opinions on that are saying, it's far and few in between. And that's the exception, man. That doesn't happen a lot. And my whole thing is right now with watching the protests and stuff. Like, I've been glued to this, man, probably in a bad way at this moment in time because I'm consumed by it. I see dozens and dozens of videos of police brutality, police abusing their power and escalating situations instead of escalating them. So what's your take on that? Because right now I feel like they're just creating more of a wedge, more of a division between the people, between the protesters. You know what I'm saying? I got it, Ant.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically what I see is it starts from the top, man. And when it starts from the top it's kind of like you got to be held accountable for your actions. And so I don't know, it might be three or four, mark me if I'm wrong, but on the back of like all the cop cars it says like community, integrity, accountability, and professionalism, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think that's what they're doing. You know, I think a lot of these guys and a lot of the reports are saying all these false narratives. Bro, you know,
but we know that's true. Like in the case with George Floyd, the police put in they weren't accurate to what happened.
Right.
Not even close to what accurate.
And clear as day. There's and you know that George Floyd, we know that is, so it's all these police and the police reports don't add up, and there's no overseer of these police. And don't get me wrong, man. I know there's some good cops out there, or they portray to be good, and I look at them good, and I trust these guys with my life. You know, as a matter of fact, your cousin, I those boys, man, those Rodriguez boys, man, I trust those guys.
They're good people, man.
They're A-class dudes, man. And it's kind of like the way that I see, you know, I know Juan, you know, pretty well. Me and you coach, you know, your cousins, whatnot. But Ricky's like awesome, and he's like a community guy, and he's smiling as a cop. He's always smiling, and he's doing his job. And I was like, if everybody can carry themselves like that man right there, to what I know and I see, I'm like, that's a good man right there. So if everybody can carry themselves in a community like that, man, our community be a great place.
Well, you know, I think, man, you're exactly right, man. That's why it's a tough subject to talk about, because when you bring up this negative stuff, people tend to think that you're anti-cop and like you know, no, that's not the case.
Far from.
But the thing is this, man, I'm honestly just disgusted, dude, of the stuff that I'm seeing. And listen, everybody can see it. Like, and if you don't see it, look it up, because it's all over right now. You know, and then if you still are not accepting what it is, you're just in denial. You know, we have too many guys out there on these power trips, and they're making the situations worse than what they are. Like there needs to be more training. We need, to me, some type of police reform. I don't know what the answer is, right? I'm just saying something, bro, because it's just disgusting to watch these people. Half these, if not more, are peaceful protests until, like I watched a video the other day of a kid was just on his knees telling the cop, like, I don't hate you. I don't hate you. I want to know you. I'm not a bad person. I know you're not a bad person. And just was doing the spill with the protesters behind him. He's on his knees. The cops are 20 feet away. And this goes on for 2 or 3 minutes. And then all of a sudden, a cop comes from behind the front row of cops. And they come and they grab him and they put cuffs on him and they yank him and arrest him. Yeah, and that's just one. And then there's some that are brutal on top of that. Let me tell
you. I just seen one just the other day where it was a 75-year-old man who, this is an old dude. This dude can barely walk up to the cops. Yeah. And he's a Caucasian fella too. Yeah. And this is going on like right now. This happened yesterday. I don't know today. Today's what, the 6th?
No, yesterday.
Happened yesterday? Yeah. Today? Well, anyways, he walks up to him, and he's basically telling during this protest, and one cop hisses. This old man falls to the ground, dude.
Cracks open
cracking, his head's cracked, and he's leaking all over. And you can see that there's one cop that realized, like, hey, this guy's not doing, and he went to go down and help him. Another cop's like, get the fuck up, man.
Yeah.
And right there, that's what I'm talking about. That cop that reached down should have turned around and pushed that cop. I'm like, nah, man, fuck that, man.
Yeah. They gotta stand up for what's right. They gotta
stand up what's right, man, because that's what the integrity part. That's what the integrity part. What it means.
And that's my thing with this, right? That's my one of my things I want to get to with this is, and I'm sure there are cops out there calling out these bad cops, you know. But right now, bro, with where the climate of our country and everything that's going on, all these videos, bro, we need, just my opinion, all these good cops, bro, they should be so offended by that
Yes.
But they should be screaming at the top of their
They should be
lungs.
screaming at the top
They
of their
should
lungs.
every video they see on social media, they should put another video out and say, "This is not what I stand for. This is not what my police department stands for. This is not what my community stands for." And I'm not saying that's not happening, but I think it needs to be more, dude.
It needs to be, because
it needs to be, you need to call that shit
same
out.
video where that man got pushed down, the report said he tripped.
Is that what they wrote? They wrote it up as he.
They wrote it up in the report. Man trips.
See, man, the thing is this: is we know is like those reports
That's
are
bullshit,
falsified
man.
on a daily.
That's bullshit, man.
So I had this conversation with somebody, and they're like, "Well, man, all good cops are all just gonna be quitting now. Their job is tough." And I said, "Listen, man, they signed up for this, bro. Like they signed up for this. This is a tough job. You know what? But they gotta go by the book, man. They gotta serve and protect all people.
Yeah,
and they can't be. Listen, I know some cops that have a complex, like they just have this power thing, right? And I knew them from when they were younger, and I think I know why. You know what I'm saying? It's like those guys probably shouldn't be cops. They need to do some strenuous testing on these guys, because if they can't handle these tough situations. Right. Bro, I don't trust some of these cops from what I see right now on social media to freaking break up a schoolyard grade school fight without beating up a 12-year-old kid.
Right, I agree.
You know
I
what
agree,
I'm saying?
man. And I think a lot of these kids, and I've seen some documentaries where 75% of these cops, what they do is that they go into it like, I'm gonna be this person to help my community out. I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be that. What I see, like Rick, kind of, like, that's what they see, and then they get there, and then they're corrupted by this system. Yeah. And it's like, it's no, hey brother, listen here. It ain't about you being a white man. It ain't you about being a black man or a Mexican. We're blue.
Yeah.
And what's being blue, that you got to look out for your brother. Nah, motherfucker, it's about your community, bro.
Yeah. There's a good documentary I just started watching right now, and it's called Crime and Punishment. I was just telling you about that, so you guys check that out. But it's actually about the New York Police Department, how some of the police officers got together and basically what's the word I'm looking for?
They just basically got together
and basically called out all the corruption and broke the system, I guess, Right. And it's really good, man. It's one of the guys I follow on social media, and he's a black cop in New York, but he does a lot of stuff for the community, standing up for what's right. And we just need more cops that are gonna.
We need more cops, man.
One of the good things, bro, about these protests getting as violent as they are, though, if there's anything good about it, you said it a minute ago. It's not just black people getting beat up by these cops.
Yeah.
Now it's white. It's brown. It's male. It's female that are getting manhandled and abused by cops for no reason.
Right, but I think
that's a good thing.
Yeah,
because now people can empathize a little more. Like, holy shit, dude!
Okay,
like,
so this is the thing is that if everything goes out right and there is a reform, I think the reform needs to go. I personally think that policemen that basically tell on their bad, their bad, who they're dealing with. Like, hey, the bad partner went out. I don't think they should be, scrutinized. And a lot of these guys, they can never get a job again because they broke that brotherhood. That's this inner brotherhood. Yeah. And I think that the government needs to basically figure that out. Do I want more government? No, not necessarily. But when it comes to you basically protecting your community, and it's kind of like, hey,
I think cops need to go.
My buddy right here is crooked. You know what? Hey, chief, man, this motherfucker's crooked, man, and he's doing this and he's doing that. And if the chief's like, that's what it is, you should be able to go to somebody else to figure out, hey, this person's crooked without getting fucked up in a department.
And I think we kind of talked about it today. They need to go in front of I think what they do is do like a yearly review board on cops, which I think they already do, but it's like done internally. I think they need to do it with outside people that aren't vested with relationships with these guys. It needs to be community members and different people, so there's a different way you're evaluating these people, because like the guy that Derek Chauvin that killed George Floyd, one of the 4 cops, 18 prior incidents, one other killing, another shooting, like all these things. Like we need to have a different way of reviewing these officers.
Yeah. I don't think if an officer feels like his partner's bad, he would go to the captain and say, hey, can I get a new partner? I don't think that should be the way it should be. I think that he should go to him and say, hey, I think this guy's hurting the community. But you got to understand that a lot of these cops don't even live in those communities.
Yeah, that's a tough thing especially when you get into inner city.
Yeah,
like you can't have somebody from outside that doesn't know the dynamics of a neighborhood or the government, or not the government, the neighborhood or the people in those communities.
Right.
How are you supposed to communicate with those people?
You don't. You just go in and like, you know what? Hey, these guys ain't paying no fucking taxes because they're in these fucking red zones. You know what? Yeah. I'm going to fucking just crack heads and all. You know what? I didn't get no sex last night. I'm going to beat the shit out of any motherfucker I see. You know?
So that's a deep topic, man. And I want to know people's opinions on that because I know it gets so emotional when you start talking about police, but the thing is this, man, like it's all like these conversations are opened up and they're uncomfortable, but it's to make some better.
Talk about
you have to, and
to
it's for
better.
Yeah, dude. You don't sleep the shit on the road.
And that's just right now, right, man. We got to get into some topics. I mean, about other things that are important to us to make us grow as a people, because those conversations that, especially you motherfuckers that's over 35, that you don't feel comfortable talking about, well, those kids are talking about them, and their friends are talking about them, and the whole deal is that you'll be left behind, like. You're going to be sitting back saying, oh, well, no, let that kid fucking step up and make the decision for you because you know what the fuck you're doing because we've been waiting for so long for you to do it, and I'm one of those guys that's like, I was kind of giving up on hope, like, fuck, man, does anybody care? I just seen, a guy get gunned down, another guy get gunned down, a guy get choked out, another guy get done. Where's everybody at? Yeah, there's been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of peaceful protests and nothing happened.
So what do you... So like this was like a perfect climate. Like everything just converged at one point to these protests to start, right? You had a gal by the name of Breonna Taylor that was killed in her house by a police officer. They had a no-knock warrant, kicked in the door, wrong apartment, ended up shooting her, killing her, dies, no charges pressed, right? Then you have the Ahmaud Arbery kid who was chased by 3 people.
Neighborhood watch,
3 people. But they honestly chased him, cornered him a few different times, and come to find out afterwards that it happened. They boxed him in a few times. He kept getting away from him because he was scared. But anyways, they shoot and they kill him, murder him. No charges are pressed. And then this happens. This is like back to back to back, right? And then this happens with George Floyd. He gets killed, and guess what? No charges pressed, right? So, and then nothing happens until people start for public outcry, for protesting, for calling them out. Once the public and people started hearing this, that led to the arrest. That is the freaking problem here, man.
Right.
Like it takes. So what's your take on the protests now? Like, what's your take? Because I guess in a sense they're getting out of hand with the rioting and looting. Like, we don't condone that.
Right. Right.
However, what's your take on that?
So this is my take, man. And I mean, this is the thing is that if you take, let's just say you take a group of people, right? Mm-hmm. And you put them in a box and they can't leave this world that they're in.
Yeah.
And in this world that they're in, they can't get jobs. They can't get loans. No. They can't do anything to basically better themselves.
The education system is subpar.
Because education system is basically built off the tax dollars that you make to help your schools get those books and basically get the teachers so you can pay them. And then these people aren't here. And on top of that, the government pushes drugs into these communities.
Yep, and look that up. That's
hardcore push drugs. And that's a whole different topic that we talk. And on top of that, you still have good people in those places.
Yep.
And those people are targeted by cops because there's so many drugs that are in there. So drugs isn't number one.
Yeah.
Not able to get a job is not even necessary. That's number one. But the whole thing is that you got to look over your back for the cops.
Yeah.
Because the cops don't see a good man. They see him being a drug dealer.
Yep.
And these kids are getting killed, and these good kids are getting killed. And there's some people in the middle there that are bad people that die, but there's a lot of people that don't. Yeah. And before you know it, they kill a person, and the world or that community uprises, and they start burning stuff, and they start rioting, and they're looking at it. You know what? I don't own anything in this community.
Yeah.
because the rich guy outside's putting his money into this community for his sacrifice, because there's no jobs here. There's nothing in this community that's going to basically better this community, but except a welfare check or a handout. So you know what? I can get my welfare dollars here with my not necessarily like my let's say my Target or my Walmart. I can get my welfare dollars there. So if they start burning that shit down and catching on fire, nobody gives a shit when they were peacefully protesting. But when they start burning up rich money, that's when the outcry comes. Yeah. And then that's when the media comes. Yep. And when the media comes, then that's the eyes are on you. But you got to remember, there's been hundreds and hundreds of protests before that. Yeah. There's been, I mean, after Martin Luther, right? Civil rights movement. Civil rights movement, yeah. Civil rights movement. Nothing was really happening. There were some peaceful protests. There was peaceful protests by the protesters, but it wasn't peaceful by the people that were against them, right? Because they were still getting beaten. But let me by any means, I don't agree with it, but I understand it. Yeah. And now the thing is that they protested and burned and riot for 2 days. Then they arrested the guy. Yep. But you got to think that there had been a cop shot an innocent man in that same area in 2017. Yeah. In the same area, and they protested. Nobody remembers that. I heard something the other day, and I want people to think about this. How do you investigate a murder caught on videotape? Like, think about that for a second. You have this long, extensive investigation when we witnessed this guy get murdered on video. Like, what else do you have to see, dude? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the craziest thing. Like, and that's where we're at. We're at in this world, and I don't know what it is. We're just used to seeing. And the whole deal is I think every American citizen needs to watch the George Floyd. I can't do it. It's not right. No, man, do it. Do it. Because what you're going to get from a man that's there is please. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Please. I will. Yeah. I can't breathe. Yeah. I can't breathe. Please. Yeah. My back hurts. I can't move. Yeah. I can't breathe. Mama. I can't breathe. Please. Yep. Sir, I can't. And it goes on, and it goes on, and it goes on, and it goes on. But was I surprised? I wasn't surprised. Yeah. I wasn't. I just thought it was going to just be like another video that I see every week. Yeah. But I'm glad America's seen it. I'm glad, because I can guarantee the black people in the black community are just like, man, that's fucked up, man. We got to do a protest. I wonder how long it's going to be. Yep. Yeah, that's deep, man. That's tough, dude. It's sick, and I just want this is like we said, a pivotal moment in our history. I mean, what brother yells out? What brother cries for his mom and she's already dead? Yep. You know, that's deep, bro. Yeah. You know, and then people still just act, you know, like yeah, I don't condone the rioting and looting, and then the beating of innocent people, man. But there's a lot of, like, you're right, bro. You got to kind of understand, like you got people that live in these areas that there's not much opportunity. Yes, we live in a time where you can achieve anything, you know, but for them it's a lot harder. Like, the opportunities just aren't there. You can still do it. It's just hard. But what does it take for people to listen, right? You try to have the conversation. You try to peacefully kneel to open a conversation, and you don't listen. You talk to somebody, you don't listen. You start, you yell and you scream, this is an issue, and you don't listen. You cry out like, hey man, like, people are dying and we need help, you don't listen. Like, what do you expect people to do? Like, I just, like, you get to a certain point where you're just like, man, fuck it, dude. Like, all right, man, you want to hear me now? So I can understand it, man. You don't condone some of that stuff, but you can understand it. But that's the thing is that is it wrong for these people burning that business? Is wrong, but it's just fucking It's just fucking sticks and fucking stones that's burning, bro. And there's money, and these insurance companies these people are getting paid for it, but the people are suppressed, and they're like, we're crying out, just like you said. Yeah. So it's just fucking money.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And it's I agree. I do.
Don't get me wrong. I don't want to make it stir like I'm looking at violence. No, but if it wasn't for those people, and the crazy part is that it was a melting pot of color that was burning, and didn't have no fucking Antifa. Antifa was not involved in that shit, and I hate the narrative of bringing up Antifa being involved in that, because there was no Antifa going on, bro.
You know, the weird thing is this, though. There's some weird stuff going on out there, man. Like the strategically placed pallets of bricks and stuff. Like, there's some weird stuff behind the scenes. Like, makes you wonder there's people out there, and it's nothing new for people to infiltrate organizations or events like this to cause chaos or destruction for their, you know what I'm saying, to make a group look bad, or you know what I'm saying. So that's there's probably deeper
stuff, than that, bro.
There's some stuff going on.
Shit, if I would, let me tell you.
Videos. I saw some videos. Some cops taking bricks out of their car.
Shut the fuck up.
I swear to, I'll show you, dude. Like, there's some weird shit going on.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, like, fuck, man. If my business was underwater. Corona's fucking killing me. I'm like, fuck, I can get
burn that shit down.
Burn that shit down. Insurance. That's not integrity, but it's money.
That's funny, yeah, man.
Yeah, so I'm trying to tell you, man, this might be one. We got to lighten our show up, man, because 2020 is fucking dark, man.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do, just so you guys know, starting next week.
I'm so proud of Drew Brees, bro. Go ahead.
No, I am too, man. You know what? I always liked him. I like him again, kind of. No, Drew Brees, make it happen, man. He's a guy that can make change. But anyways, I was saying, next week, Ant and I are starting a new thing. We're gonna start.
We're gonna start prank calls,
and we're gonna start doing wine reviews. So pay attention.
Reviews. Have no clue, but let me tell you that, HM, we're gonna be tasting wine.
So I don't drink wine. It's something Anthony and I talked about. We wanted to kind of start doing. So, anyways, we're gonna do this. So we're gonna dedicate some time to learning about wine, tasting it, reviewing it. So if you guys have recommendations, man, shoot them our way. If you want to send us some free bottles, send them our way. We're gonna try them here, and it should be fun because I don't drink.
I'm gonna get toasted,
and I'm sure it all tastes like shit to me.
What is that? I'm at 3. What does that say? I'm gonna be 3 shits to the wind.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be.
And so before we finish for the night, how do you explain what's going on to your boys, to your kids? How you guys
about what's going on right
just
now?
In our country? Like with the riots and
just the riot stuff and stuff like that,
and the protesting, Black Lives Matter, death, poor leadership. Like just kind of what do you guys talk about in your house?
This is something that's kind of like, I feel like we're kind of all learning together, because my generation and my people coming up, and I'm part of Generation X, so our generation is one of the Rodney King deal. So we've been through it. But it was segregated, you know. Yeah. Not Dr. King, but the Rodney King was segregated when it came to like this little movement that went on in the protest. But this right now is new for me, man, and it's
all
awesome.
50 states.
It's all 50 states, and you have other countries that are involved.
18 countries, 50 states.
And I mean, that thing is, and it's based around like how, you know, like black people, you know, you got to think the population in black people in America is like 12 to 13%, if that. So it's kind of like the world knows that we're the big brother, and they look up to us. And right now they're just not happy, you know. No. And I think that the people in America realize that we're all immigrants. You know, if you're not a Native American, we're all immigrants to this country, and we're all one. That's what makes us the best country in the world, because we're all integrated, bro.
Yeah.
So when my kids are teaching me something new, and I'm trying to tell you, these younger kids, I have this mindset, like I didn't necessarily give up, but I was just like, it is what it is type of mindset.
Right.
With these young kids, man, they're changing my views, man. Yeah. And it's making me want to be a better person. It's making me want to be. I feel like me and you, we give to our community and we help out and do stuff like that. But I feel like I need to go deeper. I need to help. It's like, who am I as a man? if you're going to just sit back and say, hey, I'm going to pay a mortgage, I'm going to pay my car note,
Yeah.
I'm going to do these different things, you know, and I'm looking at those same things. Like, I coach and I help out, man. We do help out in the community with sports and stuff, but I got to do something bigger that's bigger than me.
Yeah.
So my kids can look at, you know, how do you make the world a bigger place? So more than anything, what's going on is that these kids are doing more teaching me than I'm teaching them by their actions.
Yeah.
Not their words, bro. Their actions. You know.
I think
my sons, and I'm just learning, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think in a sense our kids, they have all this information and stuff at their fingertips, so they're seeing a lot of things and they're being able to formulate opinions and stuff on faster. Like you talked about the Rodney King stuff. We knew about it. We were all, you know, upset about it because it's disgusting. However, like news and things didn't travel as fast. Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying? Right now you can see somebody in California right now and talk to them or see a video right now live, right? And you couldn't do that back then. So I think right now it's allowing kids to formulate their own opinions on stuff really fast, you know, and they're realizing, like, man, this is some messed up shit going on out there. What the hell? You know?
Because basically when I was growing up, you know, you had the news, the narrative was what they said it was, you know.
Yeah.
You'd be like, he got beat this, and that. And back then you had your fake news too, you know. Mm-hmm. But
well, it's
now,
all fake now, according to somebody.
You know, but
it's all fake.
Yeah.
Like, dude, this guy has some people. He has some people, like, we're watching it live on TV. Like, we're watching it live, and he's coming out saying that didn't happen. Like,
it's
what?
Crazy shit, bro.
Like, how? And
how.
people believe in it. You just seen it.
I just seen it. Like, no, listen, that really didn't happen, man. You know, and so it's just one of those things. Is it's kind of like, I don't know, man. You got to basically, who are you as an individual, man? Like, are you like, don't easily be swayed because you see something, man. I mean, the research, do your research, but in the politics world's fucked up. You got to do your research on both sides. Like,
yeah,
you know, the left winger said this, okay. Then you got to go to the right wingers, and it's like, fuck, man, that's weird. And then you got to just put yourself in the middle and say, okay, I'm pretty sure it's in the middle.
Yeah. You know, I was having a conversation with my kids, so we're really kind of open with our kids, and I'm wired in a way, and I think my kids are wired this way because. So, like, I just feel like I got to call out bullshit when I see it, you know, and I got to stand up for things that are right. And if, you know, like, I just feel like that's always been kind of like my DNA. Like, if somebody's getting bullied, man, I'm going to call them out. You know, if somebody's doing, and my kids are wired that way because they do the same thing. And sometimes they get in trouble at school because they're standing up for something that's right, but they end up in the mix and they get in trouble. And I'm pissed, but I'm like, you know what? Like, you're like me, man. Like, you're just wired to kind of stand up for something, even if it costs you, you know. But so I'm very open. I share a lot of videos, and I'm like, I want them to be educated and see what's going on, what can happen, what is happening. But it's tough, bro. It's tough because I have 4 boys, and I tell them to respect authority, right? And especially police, respect police. You know, but these videos that we're watching and videos they're sharing with me of cops doing things to people that are peaceful, it's like, how do you tell them to respect that authority? Because they're starting to form their opinions on cops in general,
right? Because
of what they're seeing, and it's bad. You know, it's like,
right.
They're like, man, but look what these cops are doing, Dad. Look what they're getting away with this stuff, man. I'm like, you're right. It's not all of them though, man. But you know, it just so what it does for me, it creates an uneasy feeling knowing that my kids might be disrespectful because of the opinion they formed of seeing all this bad stuff, dude. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I just try to be really open and
yeah,
and let them know this world's a fucked up place. Yeah, and we've got to stick up for our neighbor. You know, we've got to stick up for for the right causes.
For the right causes. And man, you say that, and then it's kind of like, I tell my kids, hey, man, you got to carry yourself like, hey, you got to be respectful to the cops, and you got to do this to the cops, and you got to, when they pull you over, do that and do that. And they're like, well, if they pull me up for no reason, why I gotta be nice? Like, why don't I just tell them what they're? It's like, nah, man. And then it's kind of like,
pick them battles.
And it's kind of like, well, hey, my white friends tells them to fuck off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, why not? They're like, I'm American man. I'm like,
It's like how do you balance
it out? And the whole deal is that the cops are like, this motherfucker don't need to be talking to me like crazy. Now that white kid, he can talk to me crazy, but this fucking, who the fuck do you think you are talking to me like that? You know, and that's a deeper issue, and we should talk about that on another show. And the thing is, I want to talk about that another show is that I think that let's just say that we coached a kid that was a white kid who is a cop right now, and he had us yell at his ass like you wouldn't believe. And he looked at a Hispanic man. He has a white father, and he looked at a Hispanic man, and he looked at a black man, and he took discipline from those men, right? Yeah. So in life, if another black man is yelling at him, he might not look at it as a threat to his life. He might just look at it like, man, just get the fuck out the car, and I'm gonna, you know. Yeah. And then a lot of these guys that never had interaction with a black man being a superior over them to teach them, and they may take it as, I watch TV. I remember watching what my dad said, and all that. So when a black man's yelling, "Get the fuck off me!" What the fuck you doing? They're taking it more defenseful. So that's the thing is that's another topic we can talk about. But that's kind of how I looked at it. You know.
You know, I was talking to one of my kids the other day, and you know, we have people out there who are walking the streets armed to protect the streets right now from violent protesters in our small community, which I think is ridiculous. But I mean, it's your right, you know, and I don't think it's ridiculous that you are armed and protecting your community. I think that's good. I just think like if for our instance here, I just think it's kind of crazy. But if I need you, I'm calling you. But you know, the point I want to get to is he asked me. He says, well, what happens if somebody throws a brick through a window when they're down there, and they shoot them? They get arrested for that? I was like, they should. It's illegal. He said, well, he said, that's what I thought. He's like, so, and he says, you know, for a cop, can a cop shoot somebody for doing that? So I was like, no, if you're not posing an immediate threat to your life, you can't shoot somebody, you know? And he says, well, why are they down there then? You know, like, you know, so it's a tough question to answer for not really tough to answer, but
no, it's not fucking tough at all, bro.
These are questions that run through kids. No, what I'm saying is for a kid, like to understand, like, well, if it's illegal, why are they getting away with this stuff? And why are they down there? Because you know what could potentially happen.
Well, the whole deal is
you got somebody down there that's fucking just waiting. That's just waiting. Like, I wish somebody would.
Yeah, he's probably a 21-year-old kid that fucking just got his fucking first AR and he wants to fucking pop it, right? But the thing is that nah, man, that's why we're tax-paying citizens, man. It's your Second Amendment to carry guns. You know, you don't need to fucking be like. That's the same shit that happened with the Aubrey kid. These police watch guys thought that they were basically going to arrest and be the law when they weren't the law, bro. So
they were judge, jury, and executioner.
That's the thing is that a lot of these fools, to me personally, if you're down there protecting the community with the fucking AR-15, you're a fucking idiot. To me. Yeah. If you're going to go down there, fucking get your sidearm and put it on your sidearm and cover that shit up and stand out there. But if you're down there with a fucking AR-15, showing like I got this AR-15 whatnot, and you end up hurting you. Actually, I love guns. I got an AR-15. I actually got an AR-15 and an AR-15 handgun. And the last thing I want to do is some idiot to fuck up my gun rights because he decided to want to pop a kid that fucking threw a rock through a building. Yeah. Because hey, I was protecting it against Antifa. Get the fuck out of here, man. Really, get the fuck out of here, bro.
That's true, man. And but I don't know. It's tough, man.
Yeah, so that's my deal, man. You know, the whole deal is that I'll be damned if anybody takes my guns from me, bro. So I'm big on the First Amendment in a huge way, and I'm really big on the Second Amendment, and I'm big on that shit, bro. Yeah. So the whole deal is that that's what makes me American, and I believe that if there's something that your government is fighting you back as a militia, get your shit together and do that. But over this shit. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here, man. And get the fuck out of here.
And do you think that a bunch of like, I don't want to say it. I do want to say it. Would it be viewed differently as a bunch of minorities out there?
Yeah, it would be. It would be, and that's another topic. We've already talked about that on our deal.
Yeah, you're right. We did.
We talked about that on one of our shows when it came when the Panthers were looked at as a militia group in 1967, and they marched in the Capitol in Sacramento, and basically gun rights from California hasn't been the same because 30 black dudes decided they were going to use their fucking Second Amendment, and it's gone. So yeah, we are. Everybody knows that. And if you don't believe that, you're probably a fucking weirdo.
You know.
You know.
You know what I think would have worked with these cops, these protests, and to keep it nonviolent, is have all the cops that are there and whoever they have them. I would say have them line up with the protesters on both sides, or walk in a single file line on the sides of the protesters walking down the street, and just walk with them. Show support and solidarity, but also they know you're there to not take no bullshit. We're not going to allow. You know what I'm saying? I think that would ring stronger than, you know what it's like when you get two people face to face. It's just somebody's just fucking waiting. Somebody and you're just testing people. The cops are testing the protesters. Wow. The protesters are testing the cops. Yeah. It's just bad. You know, I think they need to find another way because. Wow. And then I'm so disappointed in our country for calling in the military. Like really, bro? Like the military, we're supposed to respect them so much, and you call them in for control of people who are protesting life. You know, it's just to me, it just gives a bad look for our country. And
well, you know, the president put action. It was down. Was it Lafayette? Is that the name? Lafayette Park down there in D.C., where he basically tear gassed, these peaceful protesters just to get a photo op. And I don't even want to fucking get into politics or anything like that. Yeah. All I'm saying is that James Mattis is he's a military man. He's probably the highly decorated Marines. And he was, he worked for the president. I think he was a Secretary of Defense, and basically he called the president out on that was kind of bullshit, man, because the military needs to be looked at as a higher entity in who we are. It shouldn't be doing that. And I agree, man.
God, our own troops on our own soil for our own people.
Yeah, and the whole deal is
how
that
disgraceful is this?
Yeah, Mattis is the man, dude. And if anybody talks about James Mattis, bro, you might have to come see me because I think highly of him. And you know what? He's from Richland, Washington, too. So that's one thing is that when you're to me, my thing is I'm a West Coast dude, man. I'm a West Coast dude. I don't believe in a lot of that stuff that them dudes be saying over in New York and the South whatnot. I'm West Coast, man. You have the free opportunity to be what you want to be, and if anybody disrespects you, you can put them in their place, and you got to be no yes sir, no sir, none of that shit, man. I'm a West Coast dude, man. So if you step to me, step correct, So that's what I seen. James Mattis is the type of guy that is like. He's a West Coast dude, man, and he went to the military and the right way and worked his way up. He's a man of men, all men, So
see,
and they call him Mad Dog Mattis. Look that shit up.
Yeah, man, it's crazy times.
Yeah,
I just say that's all I can say. I find myself consumed though with this stuff right now.
Let's wind this shit down, dude.
I think I'm just so consumed because I can't believe it's going on, but I can believe it's going on at the same time.
The Twilight Zone.
Yeah, and then on top of that, like how divided we are as a country. Is like people can literally see stuff and then say they would tell themselves it's not really going on. It's just weird, dude. It's weird.
It's weird.
Oh man, but yeah. Anyways, hey, we rambled a little bit. But we got on a few good topics. Drew Brees, way to step up and correct yourself, and that's what we need more of right now. Just leaders to say you make a mistake, own it, step up, and correct it.
And hey, you fake ass militia motherfuckers standing out there in the corners, don't fuck up my Second Amendment because you want to fucking show that you got a gun with a scope on it, you piece of shit. For real, bro.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Is that it?
Hey, that's the DNA. Deuces.
Our legacy, our beliefs, our show. Stay tuned. Appreciate you guys.